Good morning. Welcome to Apprentice of Silence and welcome to your daily morning reading. My name is Katherine. I'm gonna, in a second, set an intention for creating a safe container that you have the opportunity to access by simply tuning into it, by asking to be connected to it. Yes. These readings are specifically for those of us who have designed and consciously committed to walking the divine feminine path. So all advice regarding whatever we may need in order to fully embrace every aspect of what it means to be a divine feminine, like the softness, the nurturing, the motherhood, the receiving, the openness, the connectedness, the allowingness, and all our many barriers that we may have to it. So this is a specific little place for us. Anyone and everyone is welcome, and it's absolutely open for everyone. And I'm so happy to have you here. Now, I need to have some coffee first. Yesterday, we talked about guilt, right? It was a lot of what I was thinking about yesterday evening was a lot of well, obviously, how to be a good person, being liked, being approved of, and all these concepts that they have no solid foundation in the spiritual realm or in the dimensions above. It doesn't hold as much value as it does here in the physical 3D. So for us, I heard now, it's almost like a limitation being perceived as good and nice, because technically it's a self-serving motive for whomever is calling us good. We are good to them. We benefit them. But in a world that is collapsing, it's not for us to benefit the majority of people. In a world where the divine feminine has to rise so as to bring about the shifts that are needed, because this world is not thriving. And we need to be able to step up with our love and our openness and living in that space so that we are able to shift our patterns and help shift everything around us that we are responsible for, or that we are caretaking, everything around us. We won't be seen as good because it won't be of benefit for whomever the observer is at the moment when we're asking the question. For example, my mom. Will she ever see me as good? There is no truly answer to that. The first thing was well, it depends on who's asking her. Does it benefit her to tell someone that she thinks that I'm awesome and amazing and good and yada yada yada? If it benefits to bring her about in a good light, she'll absolutely do it. 100%. What does she truly feel? I don't think she's emotionally connected enough to truly feel any of her truths. Meaning, am I a good person to my mom or not? We will never know. So how can that be what governs the way I feel about myself when I go about the world? How can that be a limitation from me achieving what I want, getting in the feeling state of what I want? How can, oh, my mom doesn't see me as a good person. How can that be a limitation? It's not objective truth. It's not of objective value to hold that. It doesn't make me a better person to hold that. Because then I'm just gaslighting myself about the current reality and how things that are perceived good actually work. Something is good based on my personal gain from it, or loss, then it's bad. Even the coffee, if I think that it adds to my well-being, oh, this is good coffee. If I think that it takes from my well-being, I'll be like, this is bad coffee. This is really good coffee. So I'm assuming we are continuing on the questioning of like what makes me a good and likable and approved of person and why. And is that a limitation that I'm holding? What would be like, what other means do I have to get what I want? If I'm not limited by the belief of, like said in the example, if I'm not limited by the belief of if my mom perceives me as a good person or tells that to herself, first and foremost, if I'm not limited by that because I can see the truth behind that belief, I heard regardless. So regardless of what I do or don't do, the thoughts surrounding my goodness or badness will be the same. So it's like you achieve something, they'll say the same things about you, whomever, whenever, because it's a personal perspective that people hold. No matter what I do, can be perceived in a billion different ways. Majority, well, probably not so good. Look, if I'm trying to change, I'm not specifically trying to change, but if I'm a part of a change, that will not be perceived as good by default. Then those who desire it will definitely perceive it as good. Look, me doing these readings, that's a good thing. For those of you who benefit from it, that's why you're here. But not everyone sees that as something beneficial. And they can come with a billion different reasons why that's a bad thing. And if you continue listening to that and you continue being like, okay, see, so why are these readings a bad thing to people who dislike me? My own beliefs, right? And then you follow that. You follow all of the things that they say. Maybe you mentally follow it. Maybe you're, spiritually, psychically able to tune into that and channel, as I think you are. I think all are, but specifically you. And then you follow that stream, and you're just observing. You're just interested. Yeah, I know this. I've tried to reject this because I want something else. Let's do the opposite approach. Let's go into it and actually find out more objectively. I'm just gathering information. So you go down the path stream. You go down the stream of like, Okay, so for everyone who thinks that me doing these readings, or insert your example of what you're most interested in at the time, me doing these readings, people who think these readings are bad think that. And then in my personal example, it comes up things like, okay, but those who make, like, it's stupid to waste so much time taking money from other people and doing things that has no value to anyone, just making stuff up, and it's scary. It also scares them. No immediate benefit. That's everything that's on the stream of people who would think that I do something bad. Or, not good. This makes me not a good person. When you look at those things, those are your limiting beliefs. Those are the beliefs that hold you back from achieving what you've wanted. The whole what makes me a good person thing. People who are like, this is so inspiring. Like, it brings so much clarity. And it propels me forth behind the suckness that I've been in. And it's just liberating, and the vibe is awesome, and it's just healing for the body because of all the energetic work that goes on at the same time. Speaking of energetic work, I still haven't done the intention. Well, the dimension is always there, so you're able to tune into that. I just haven't yet. It still works. But yeah, it's just easier for me to channel this information outside of that bubble. Either way, so that probably explains it. Those things are not limiting beliefs. Those are not the things that prevent me from achieving something. And it's the same in your case. It's those things that do. And you can gain access to them by, for example, asking, so those who view me as bad, not good, what do they say? Objectively look at this, because if you're not looking at this objectively, you're gonna trigger so many things that just push you out of it, and you won't be able to actually process it. Like, it has to be almost neutral from a place of whatever, but I'm interested in it. So also with compassion for yourself, not per se for them, you don't have to, but for you, because it teaches you more about you than anything else. Okay, now, hope you're having a great morning. Spirit, any messages for us today? When things are falling in your lap, even if it seems like you have to struggle a bit for it, but you're not really struggling a bit for it. They're literally just things falling in your lap. And we have two cards talking about fulfillment and happy family life and things coming in, for sure. What else, Spirit? What's falling in your lap? What is hidden is some kind of this amazing emotional well-being. August, with the Queen of Wands, because the sunflowers bloom so beautifully in August. I come from a piece of land that is called Pridnestrovia. Well, I was born in the capital of Moldova, Chisinau, but my heart is in Pridnestrovia, and there's a river there called the Dniester. So and the sunflowers. So the video got cut off. Did I have an existential crisis? Yes, maybe not. I don't know. We'll never know. We're still doing this though. I had to reboot the camera and all of it. Question my existence. The sunflowers in Pridnestrovia are amazingly beautiful, and this Queen of Wands talks to me about sunflowers in August and things falling in her lap. September is still beautiful for sunflowers too, but August, end of August, yeah, amazing. Anything else, Spirit? Just believe with the Strength card. Faith, for sure. And anything else? They're showing me like a lot of influences taking place. It's almost like someone is being bombarded with a lot of inside information, things like all the time. And there's an entity that wants to Tiferet, heart and beauty. Tiferet, the sixth emanation, the temperate force that allows the rest of the emanations to coexist in beautiful harmony. Tiferet is without extremes or absolutes. As each other aspect rages around him, he neither yields nor resists. He is the equilibrium that exists between those forces. He is the guiding hand that braces against the many aspects of the tree to gracefully bring them toward one another. The yellow orb brings balance to the universe. Forming the midpoint between Keter and Malkut, he defines the pillar of balance. At the glowing center of the tree and the midpoint between all its relationships, He distributes energy from each emanation back across its paths. It's a careful balancing act, incorporating such extreme opposites, but this is the nature of the tree as a whole. Tiferet mirrors the structure of the tree, existing as a microcosm of the whole, found in art, health, community. If that's not a representation of the divine feminine essence, I don't know what is. You know, this is beautiful. And definitely makes sense with all the inputs I was getting before. Beautiful message, beautiful. I believe this is it. Advice for today, what I was mentioning before, just go into that direction and look at those limiting beliefs. It's amazing what that brings, what that does. And then just clarifying the absolute most beautiful support that just falls in your lap. Beauty, for sure. And faith. I love you. See you tomorrow. Take care.